guy alone inside. He's got the breakaway with the touch to the right. Goal! Everything you wanted from this debut. It's Brandon By. Taking a shot with the left. Goal! Isaac Frank from 25 yards out. The equalizer. Will Kidd with the touch of the goal. It's a go-ahead goal. Minneapolis City.
This is the People's Pitch Podcast, the official podcast of your Minneapolis City Soccer Club, brought to you by Summit Brewing Company.
What do you get when you cross a crow with a toaster? Who gives a shit? It is game week, folks. This is the People's Pitch Podcast, the official podcast of your Minneapolis City Soccer Club. I am your host, John. We are doing it live today, so that means I am sitting across from my main man, the real Nathan Morales. Nate, it is go time.
Dude, it feels so good to be in the same room and do the podcast again. It's been a long time.
We'll explain what we do.
So now we end up calling in, and we've got a cool little system where we would do a Google Hangout, or it's called Clean Feed.
Yeah, for
because
those
John's
amateur
got
podcasters.
a young family, and I've got a young family, and it's hard to get, now without an office in the middle of downtown, it's hard to get together in the middle of the week, so we do that.
Right.
But now we're joined by a special guest that brings us all together.
So, we are with the season set to kick off this Saturday. We got to come correct with the show to get you ready to rock. We have Crows head coach Adam Pribyl in the house today, literally in my house today.
Yeah.
The team squeezed in one last signing before the season starts, and we played the Loons. If you're following the internet Wednesday, we'll say what we can about that, and we also are going to talk about what does the full roster look like, and we'll talk it over with the Pribler and get his thoughts on the roster. And then finally, we'll talk a little bit about Saturday's game against the Sioux Falls Thunder, and then we have a surprise that we will go over. So take off your pants and dance. Let's do this.
First things first, I want to introduce our special guest, of course, Minneapolis City head coach Adam Pribyl. Adam, welcome back to the Thunderdome.
Thank you. I appreciate it. It's good to be here with you guys.
As most of the listeners know, Adam is in his second season as the full-time, part-time head coach of the Crows. And by that I mean, on top of being part of the murder, Adam is the director of student activities and the head boys soccer coach at De La Salle High School, the Big D. He's got his hands in the soccer world in Minnesota, and he is an avid bird watcher. Did we leave anything out?
No, not at all. That you pretty much sums it up.
Bourbon aficionado.
Yeah.
Bourbon
Yeah. We learned about that after we had set the show rundown.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
Yeah, so we're doing
buy
this.
him a bottle of bourbon.
Doing this a little different today
bird watch.
because Adam's going to be here the whole show. It's not like we're bringing him on as a guest at the end just to do a quick interview. He's going to help us through all of our segments, which is pretty awesome. And the first, of course.
So we were able to sneak in another player like we talked about. So even though we're less than a week away from our first game, we added the final piece of the puzzle, if you will. We signed Mark Haight, who is a year removed from graduation at St. Thomas.
Yeah, and John, I don't hate this move.
Oh, boy.
In fact, I love it. I know.
I can't laugh because I've seen that since like noon
Yeah,
today.
that's a good one.
And I was like...
But I liked it.
Yeah,
I liked it a lot.
It was off the cuff. Don't ruin our secrets.
Until we find out... Until we find out, with Matt Ben Scoten, but it's not Ben Schotten, and it ruins all of our jokes. So it's gonna be something. We're gonna find out it's something different.
Yeah. So I know with Miles heading to Sweden, you probably there's probably a spot open that you had planned on being full heading into this part of the.
Well, actually,
season.
Max Stigward took the spot that was vacated by Miles. This is the spot with us losing Kevin Hoof, who is staying at school for the summer.
That's right.
So that might be some breaking news here.
Yeah, we never did bring it up, even when his dad was on the show.
Yeah, we didn't want to say anything.
There's an open wound. We didn't want to pour salt.
early.
It was still early in the process, but no. So that's he's filling that gap. So
awesome.
We're basically trading one defender who is kind of a Swiss Army knife for another.
Yeah, so super excited for Mark to join the team. He is another former MIAC Player of the Year, which joins 2017's winner Shea Bottom and 2015's winner Brandon McGarity. So he's definitely a high achiever. He's played with Will and Shea for a few years, so that chemistry should be there. But most importantly, this guy's a solid defender who is very dangerous offensively, which is really rare.
So after playing 2 years at my alma mater, UW-Milwaukee, Mark transferred to St. Thomas, and after his time there, he was well rewarded. He's a 2-time All-MIAC player, 2-time first-team All-North Region, and then first-team All-American his senior year. And then, as you mentioned, he was the MIAC Player of the Year in his final season.
So let me just rip off these stats from his Player of the Year winning season because they're nuts to me. So in overall games, he led the MIAC in points with 22.
And he was a left back.
Yep, this is a left back, right? He leads the MIAC with assists with 8 and in penalty kicks. So he's taking the penalty kicks. He was 3 for 4.
That's good to know.
He was second.
Noted, yeah.
Okay, in the whole conference, he was second in goals scored at 7, right? And third in game-winning goals. He scored 3 of those. And he anchored this defense that only allowed 7 goals all season. So like 0.34 a game. Plus, we get another player that's eligible to hit the field in May when a lot of our guys are away at college. So that's pretty great. This seems like the kind of guy that would have been on your radar for a while, John. Like, how did you land him? What led up to it?
So Mark came to us as a referral from the Bavarians. So he's a Milwaukee guy. He actually went to UW-Milwaukee, went to the Brookfield East where my wife went to high school.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so he... a man after my own heart, basically. So Patrick, the head coach of the Bavarian Majors and then the UPSL, formerly PLA team, sent me a note and just said, hey, I got this guy who, you may have heard of him, Mark Haight. He's went to St. Thomas. He'd be my starting left back if he were coming home, but he was in our plans. Now he's not coming home. He's taking a job in the cities, staying up there. So I was like, okay, we'll bring him in. And the rest is history.
When you can get a guy that the Bavarians are willing to put as the starter in that all-important spine that you always talk about in the system that they've developed, that's pretty sweet. That's a pretty good pickup.
Right. So, Adam, I said, kind of my thoughts about him. What's your take on Mark?
The thing that you really love about him as a coach is, first off, his personality. He is full of confidence, but not in a prick kind of way.
A quiet confidence.
Yeah, like he just knows he can ball out, and he's confident in himself, but he is, it is that quiet confidence. So he's got the mentality that you look for as a coach. And like you said, he can get up and down the field. He whips in a great ball. He can play a number of different positions. And he's a really good communicator. So quick story about him is a couple weeks ago, he contacted me and was like, hey, want to be at training, but training goes late and I have a big interview tomorrow. What do you think? I said, dude, screw it. Go, if you got the interview, go do that. You're good for today.
Man, who needs a job?
And he came up to me the other day and goes, dude, thank you. I got the job.
Nice.
Nice. So that was cool, but it spoke volumes about him because he didn't just say, hey, I can't be there, whatever.
Yeah.
He let me know what was going on. And those are all the little things that you look for as a coach. So I'm really excited for him.
So he wasn't like, hey, I got this test. Like half the guys on our roster right now are like, like either in high school or college. And it's like going through.
Hope it's okay. I have a test. Make sure I graduate college.
Right. No, but I mean, he's just one of those guys. He's just, you talk to him and like he came up to me and said like, hey, do you, like I don't want to bother you, but do you have my training gear? And I was like, and I kind of got frustrated because everyone asked me that. And it's like, I don't have your goddamn training gear, okay? Like, leave me alone. I'm here to serve crosses in for the goalies.
You snapped at him.
And I didn't snap at him. I just kind of looked at him and he's like, it's cool. I'll get it whenever. But like, I know like the Bob Spielman, who is the director of Bavarians, he would, if you wore anything but Bavarian gear at practice, you were in trouble. And he's like, I just want to, like he knows like that's the thing. And I was like, I also would prefer you don't wear like VSLT stuff at our practice if you have it. But Elm Grove Soccer Club, where I used to coach, you're cool, man, until I get your gear. So, so you're right. Mark's a great guy. We're happy to have him. He actually almost nipped a goal in what we're going to be talking about next.
He did.
At the death. And it was kind of like the shot cross type situation where he
Pulisic goal.
Yeah.
Which was nuts.
Yeah. So he kind of hit one and was like, and then the whistle blew. So what I'm speaking of is the news leaked on the Twitter machine Wednesday that Minnesota United was scheduled to play a friendly against us. It was true, and it happened. But the funny thing was that it wasn't us who leaked it. It wasn't Minnesota United who leaked it. It was the Star Tribune beat writer Meg Ryan who leaked it. So that's kind of a cool thing.
Yeah.
So maybe, Meg, if you're listening, probably not. Thank you, and maybe just turn out to one of our games one of these days. Or you can come to our practices and,
Love to have you.
we can scoop the next Minnesota United friendly from our training instead of from theirs. So before we get started, we should say that we kind of keep these things close to the chest for a few reasons. And one is we don't need a group of fans showing up, snapping photos and asking for autographs or like tweeting results. And because the point of these matches is to get better. In our case, we start our season this weekend. And without a doubt, a tune-up with an MLS side is going to put us into the toughest situation possible to face opponents 3 tiers below on the pyramid. So that makes us better. For them, it's a chance to tune up guys who are on the bench with game-like action, which because they don't have a reserve team. And as we know, like if you have a pulse on soccer in Minnesota, they are fucking bleeding out right now because of injuries. Mm-hmm. So these guys really need to get game ready and for a match on Saturday. So this version of what we did, which hopefully will be a few other times throughout the year. And we actually would have had more than one, but weather screwed us. It's closed for a reason, and it's basically, it's not about who wins or loses. Clearly they're professional soccer players who train every day. They should beat us. But, like if we can nick a goal, awesome. Mm-hmm. But, we don't talk about the results because it doesn't matter. And, it's hopefully no one gets hurt and we work on things and we build that relationship. So
yeah,
that's why things are closed door and super secret and, all that kind of stuff. So I want to get that there first.
Well, I remember, so based on the one we played last year, I went back in the archives looking up in our outlines if we even talked about it. And I don't think we did too much.
We just said that we talked about the players we sent and the players that they had.
That's right.
Yeah.
So we can talk about who we brought on Wednesday night.
Yes, we can, Nate. Eventually, I promise, guys, we're going to get Adam talking here. But correct me if I'm wrong, Adam, but we had a mixture of MPSL and U23 players, and that was by design because there are some U23 players who are going to be elevated this weekend. And we'll get into that a little bit later when we start talking about the preview against the Thunder of Sioux Falls. But MPSL players we brought were Miles Norville, Trey Benhart, Aaron Olson, Chuck, Whitney Brown, Will Kidd, Siku, James Nair, and then our new signing, Mark Haight. And then U23 players were Josh De La Rosa, the best name on the roster, Ken Love Sloan, Lionel Vang, and Ipsa Hamid, and then Matt Murakami. And then we had a trialist who's kind of been a long-term trialist with us in backup net, Callum Brody. Did I leave anybody out?
Oh, that's it.
And then, are we allowed to talk about who we lined up against? Who was there? From Minnesota United.
I don't see why not. It's not a shocker that their starting players and some of their guys off the bench players weren't there. Yeah. Some of them were there, but there may have been a few. Well, I know, and Adam can speak for it too. Mm-hmm. There were some trialists, some players that were there that. I don't even know what their names are, and even if I did, I wouldn't say it because it's not my position to say it. But There are some names that people have heard that were there. So you had Brent Coleman, Colin Warner, you had Olmsberg, who I thought he was on loan, and it's like
maybe sounds like he can go back and forth.
Home on vacation or something.
He could go. I don't think he can play in a game for Minnesota United, but I think he can go on.
Right.
He can train.
Right.
Yeah. So this wasn't an official.
That makes
match.
sense because then he can stay on their regimen and all that. Mm-hmm.
Yep. There was Colin Martin. There was Little Inchy. Heath's kid was there.
Imagine if you grew up and your nickname was Little Inchy. How pissed you'd be at the world.
Mason Toy. I have so many things to say about that guy, but I won't. Mason Toy, the first round draft pick this year. There was a Franz Pangop signing. He is not a YouTube sensation. He exists. He did get injured, pulled up a hamstring. Then there was Maximino and then Alexi Gomez. So some of the newer signings were there. Some of the first round draft, two draft picks were there. Kind of a stalwart in Coleman, who's a local guy, and then you had the coach's kid. and then two Collins. So so that was who was there.
That's pretty cool. I mean, I think a lot of people were energized on Saturday when Alexi came into the game. People are excited to see this Maximiano kid because he kind of grew up idolizing Ibsen and probably plays a lot like him, hopefully without the diving.
I think it's diving. It's just being old.
Yeah.
And of course,
it's called falling. Yeah. It's not diving when you're old. It's falling.
So that's pretty cool. So last time I was at the United City Friendly, what was it, May of last year? Mm-hmm. It didn't go our way, obviously, but that's not the point, like John said. But we did see some great performances out of our guys. Was Goose there? Or was he not back yet?
He was there last year.
He was there last year. Okay, so that was what I remember. Because I maintain that Goose embarrassed Kevin Venegas so badly that we are the reason he was not brought back. Like, we were the beginning of the end for Kevin Venegas.
I think the signing
may have started a few years before that.
But like, dude got just rocked by a
Goose turned him
19-year-old
kid.
times. Yeah.
And he did to Demidov too.
But I'll tell you what, I thought actually the side for United this year was stronger.
Yeah.
They had more first team guys that have gotten actual real minutes than the one last year. Mm-hmm. But they were deeper last year in terms of their numbers, so that they had a bunch of guys who just hadn't seen the field very often.
They had a full roster.
At that point, Jome played against us, and he came in. He only came on late in the season for us.
Yeah,
so.
and like Greenspan. Mm-hmm. I'm trying to think of the other guys who were there. I mean, like both the Collins were there.
Demidov totally played.
Demidov played, and he and Greenspan almost got in a fist fight when Goose turned them into each other, and because Demidov was just a whirling dervish, just a flailing Scandinavian limbs at that point, and Greenspan got so mad because he was gonna go in for a tackle, but Demidov was there, and then Goose just slipped through.
So, any Crows this time around stand out against the Loons bench?
I have a list of who I want to talk about. Why don't we have Adam start? And then if there's any people that I saw that are different, then I'll kind of chime in.
Like from your point of view, who achieved or overachieved against this professional talent?
You know, there's a couple, obviously, in this type of game, you go in and you're always a little bit nervous going in, but the good thing is that there's just no pressure, right? It's just go in, try to play your game, you're getting ready for the season. But the guys that I thought really played well, once again, I was impressed by Trey out of the back. He was solid, he tackled well, he didn't lose possession, and that's what you're looking for.
And he communicated well too.
Yeah,
and he was commanding a line,
which was like his own.
Was like Trey's talking.
Yeah,
what's happening?
This is a thing. This is a thing.
What bizarre world are we in right now?
Yeah, but I'll say I think that's in large part also to having a guy next to him that he's really comfortable with in Miles Norville, and I thought all of our outside backs that played actually did very well. Mm-hmm. So Ao, Chuck, and Mark, I think they all, in their own right, played very well.
They really did.
Yeah.
And I thought too, like I'm going to chime in a little bit with this. Is one of the points that I had too was that like you were looking at like just dynamic talent that United threw out on the wings, and they played one up top, and they basically played a 4-3-3 kind of.
They're exploring that now. I think that's going to be the new thing.
Yeah, I think so too. But they kept their shape and they pushed the guys out wide. And I was kind of talking to Nate earlier. It was like that Pangop guy. Like I don't really see it, but he's fast. And Mark would let him go to the end line and then be there. And like, okay, now what are you gonna do with it? So I think you're right.
I didn't see anything from that Pangop. I mean,
then he
we'll see.
Pulled up lame and just cashed his check on the first of the month.
You know, the one area that I think that we're trying a few different things in our midfield, and I can't hide it. We don't necessarily have our first team guys out there for our midfield, you know. So we're trying a few different things. Like Will Kidd played a lot at the 8 position in the midfield. Did well, but we tried a few different things in there. I was really impressed with our Augsburg affiliates in Ipsa and Lionel. Yep. Now Lionel for being a smaller guy fought really hard against like guys that like Max. this dude Max is easily 1.5 feet taller than Lionel, and Lionel was sticking in against him.
Lionel's shorter than Ben Wexler for if you want to like for like comparison.
Yeah.
So he's small.
Yeah. So defensively did really well there, and Ipsa when he came in, he did really, really well.
Yeah, that's like the last point I had on my whole thing here that we didn't talk that you didn't talk that you mentioned that I had noted was that I thought he was the best player on the field, like on both sides when he came in the second half. Like super composed and you look at Ips I always call him Abisa.
But it's Ipsa, yeah.
Ipsa. You look at Ipsa, and he doesn't like fit the mold of like a center midfielder.
He's a goofy dude.
Yeah.
He's a little duck-footed.
Yep.
He runs kind of awkward, and when he came to tryouts, we were all like, oh, I mean, we've heard such good things about him, but like, what
goes to Augsburg?
What are we going to see out of him? And as soon as he gets in like game-like situations, though, it's like ping, 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 easy passes, but he never gets rattled. He wins balls that he shouldn't. He's really an amazing player to watch.
And I think it's because he doesn't have the athletic ability of like, I mean, you talk about like Steve that we all know. Like he can cover ground because of his athleticism and his brain, but this guy has the brain to like he is there because he can't make up with the speed of the other guys.
He's a couple steps ahead because he's taught himself to have to do that in order to compete.
100%. And you know what he does? He gets the ball and he gets rid of it. And he only takes more than 2 touches if he has to. And in that setting, like you could see the respect of their 10 against him because when he'd get the ball, they'd back off a little bit and give him the space because they wanted to see what he could do with 3 and 4 touches. And he wouldn't take it. He'd find a pass. And I thought out of all of a lot of guys did good, but I thought when he came on in the second half, the game changed. And we had a stretch for like 15 minutes there where we were pushing them on their back foot. And then the professionalism of being an MLS side took over.
They got a little ticked off.
They got a little ticked off because we were getting chances and we were pushing them around. But unless you have any other guys, I thought you mentioned Will Kidd playing at the 8, a little bit out of position, plays a little bit of there at St. Thomas. I thought he put in like a Will Kidd performance, like nothing spectacular, nothing you're like, man, that guy sucks. It was like right in the middle of just like super hard work, did his job, was nipping at the heels of Heath's kid, getting him kind of rattled, which was awesome because that guy is a total dick.
Yeah. But I don't want to take anything because we haven't talked about any of our attackers. And I'll say the one, I thought Josh was really fun to watch play just because he's coming off of ACL injury and he does not look like he has an injury.
Yeah. So tell us what you told us before.
Here's the deal. So real quick, we were talking Abisa. Abisa is from Augsburg.
Yep.
Because a lot of these U23 guys, I think a
Lionel.
lot of people might forget, right? Lionel Vang, another Augsburg student right now. Josh De La Rosa was the striker that Matt destroyed
in the first
that
game.
very first game
at
that
VSLT.
someone got a red card at. I don't remember who.
That was you, actually.
You
shit.
and Matt. So that's two.
Yeah. You can swear.
You can swear.
Yeah.
Fuck shit. Goddamn.
Here's the best part about that. So I was not at the game. I was at a wedding, and my parents were watching Gus. And my parents are season ticket holders. They're like, "Sweet, we have to go see a game live instead of watching it on the internet." And my dad doesn't text often, but he sends me a text. Goalie kicked out, coach red carded. That's all I get.
I'm sure you got a series of texts from Dan and your dad and me.
No, it was that was the first one from my dad.
Awesome.
I was like, I look at Jessie and I was like,
oh no.
Can I go step out of here? She's like, no. And it was like bride walking down the aisle. I'm like,
like wedding crashers.
right.
So Josh, to remind everyone, is the also a Bethel student, right? So he plays under Coach Jeremy and Matt. Okay,
not anymore.
Not anymore.
Yeah,
Matt.
but having Josh out there, played him at the 10, played him at the striker, he did really well. But I was even more impressed with Whitney. And the reason I was impressed with Whitney is because I told Whitney one of the things that I'm looking for him this year is his hold up and link up play. And when you've got a big dude like Coleman, like bearing down, or Olmsberg, bearing down on your back, and you're half the height, he held up the ball really well against these guys. And, he did what Whitney does, is cut into the middle of the field and distribute off of that. So for Whitney to be doing that against those level guys, I'm really, really excited for what he's going to do against Sioux Falls.
So there was definitely positives that we took out of it. I mean, we won't report the score. We did lose. We did not score. But
Same as last year.
But there was a free kick goal and a penalty kick, which was super soft. Super.
Why bother calling soft penalties like that in training?
Because they complain. They complain.
We didn't complain.
They're professionals, as they are professionals. Like they play very well, but when they feel like they got wronged, they will let you know. And and I'm not saying that it wasn't. I'm not. I don't know if it was a penalty or not, but
I'm telling you right now, from where I was sitting at higher up in the stands, it was a lazy challenge by, I'll call him out. Miles just put in a lazy challenge against Mason Toy, and he sold it.
Yep.
I mean, he got him,
That's
but it was
professional.
like,
You got to recognize those moments, right?
Right.
Right.
Make that split second.
right.
Yep.
So all in all, it was exactly what we needed. We're gonna do it again. We've already talked. I've already had conversations with the group that I had to get it on the books. We're gonna do it again throughout the year. I said I said, hey, we had a lot of our U23 guys out there. I'd love to see some of our college guys get back and more of our first team guys. So we can give you a different run. But I would say that seeing some of the players catching rides from the staff and stuff, when I was talking to a couple of our guys as their team was filing out, and seeing Heath's kid roll out in the nicest Porsche SUV I've ever seen, and then blaring techno and hitting the gas and squealing out of the parking lot. He's that type of coach's kid. I'm a coach's kid, and I grind it out. My dad never helped me.
You don't show up with a car your dad bought you. That's so obvious.
I know. That was my last takeaway.
All right.
Was that it was good techno though. I'm not gonna lie.
Hey, it was Avicii tribute, rest in peace.
Yeah, he got the bootleg version of it early. But yeah, it was all in all, it was good.
All right. Well, one thing that I think that touched on is we do need to. Over the course of the offseason, we've gone, kind of week by week, kind of to deal with who the new signings are, where they're from, that sort of thing. And I think unless you go back and listen to 13 episodes, at least, of the show, you're not going to kind of have that on paper anywhere. So what we wanted to do this show is to kind of break down our entire roster going into Saturday's season opener. Some of these guys, of course, will not be home for the game. Some of them will still be in college. But we want to make sure they're all in one place for any intrepid Crow supporter, any citizen to be able to reference.
Intrepid Crow supporter. That just sounds bad.
To be able to reference and start getting excited about. So I think what I'm looking to do here is, go position by position. We're not going guy by guy.
Yep.
So, you basically are going to say the same thing. Oh, he's a good guy. Works real hard.
They're all good. We like them.
Great guy. Works real hard.
Yeah.
And we're going to talk more about, as a whole, what you're looking for out of these positions, defense, offense, fullback, that sort of thing. So we'll start with guys between the sticks. Two veterans basically coming back this year, Matt Elder and James Nair. How good is it to know that you've got two guys you can count on equally, and how great is it that they like each other and they've worked together for so long?
Yeah, and for those who don't know me, I was a goalkeeper in college, so it's a position near and dear to my heart.
Oh yeah, you had some real weird shit that you'd do when you were bored, if I remember right.
But having James and Matt there, it's not only they're consummate professionals in the most professionally amateur kind of way. But, the really cool thing about James is James slimmed down. I don't know if he's
He
doing...
finally gives a shit.
He's doing Insanity or P90X or some shit, but he is looking good.
Well, because Matt's pretty fucking...
Oh, Matt works
fit.
out every day,
Yeah.
right? So James has stepped up his game, and he was a guy who was always I think John and I always in the last couple of years have been man, if James could just
got
not
enough
be
shape.
injury prone and he got into shape, he's really good.
Drank
saw
less.
that last year against the Des Moines Menace.
Right.
So
Yep.
James is killing it right now. And the same thing with Matt. And the really nice thing about these guys is that they're great locker room guys. And you need that from your goalkeepers. You need them to be strong communicators. So really happy with that core we've got.
So something I haven't seen is James really in the field, except for maybe a friendly against U of M or something.
You mean in the field? Like last time we played South Dakota?
Yeah, I wasn't there.
Sioux Falls? Yeah.
All right. Yeah, so I wasn't there.
That was the only time I've ever seen him in the field.
11 men. I mean, like I haven't seen him out there at all playing. But I have seen Matt, so I'm going to assume, based on knowing their personalities, that they've got some contrasting styles. Matt is definitely very vocal from the back. James, at least from what I've known of him and when I've talked to him, he's kind of a goofy dude. Like, does he bring that kind of intensity like Matt does?
He focuses more when it's go time.
Mm-hmm.
Like I call him Big Game James. I've never seen him play in a big game, but he's played in big games. But he has a different communication style.
Mm-hmm.
And he offers something different than Matt does. And they're both different types of goalkeepers. So,
Matt kind of has that Batman voice.
Yeah.
And James is constant chatter, right? But it's
a good way to put it,
it's specific.
He's more of a
it's
Joe
there.
Pesci kind of like, man, you got to get over here.
Yep,
You got to
do this,
Okay.
right? Yeah.
Gotcha.
Joe Pesci.
Yeah, except what the fuck you think I'm a clown? How fucking funny am I? All right, let's move on to this.
It's our former MPSL chairman or whatever. He reminded me of Joe Pesci.
He looked like Joe Pesci.
Yeah.
So we're feeling pretty good at goal. Let's talk about the center backs on the team. So, of course, these are probably four of our more established players. We've got the maturity and the experience of Trey Benhart. We've got Miles Norville, a.k.a. Upgrade, a.k.a. New Miles, who joined us for the Aurora game at the U.S. Open Cup and then went to Rochester with us, they're establishing a nice rapport. Of course, AJ Albers was announced as he is re-signed this week, and Max Kent coming back from McAllister sometime in June, we expect, right? Mm-hmm. You already mentioned that Trey is providing an enhanced level of leadership at the back. What do you expect out of him this year, and how do you see him working with, I'm going to say, any of these guys interchangeably? Because you got to assume he's the rock back there, right?
Yeah, I mean, Trey is the natural. He's a natural leader just by, you don't have to name him a captain, right? But guys just kind of look up to him because he doesn't.
It's like the aura.
Right, he doesn't talk a lot, but when he does, everyone's like, "Oh shit!"
Now
like,
it's
what
serious.
did he say?
Yeah.
Like, but it's been really cool seeing him and Miles together. They have very different styles in the type of like how they play.
Yeah.
But because Miles loves the ball at his foot, like loves it at his foot. He wants to take a few touches. He wants to play out of the back, and Trey is like, boom, boom, like get it off my foot. Not that he can't play with the ball at his feet, but he just wants to cycle it quickly.
He'd rather play defense,
right,
than start an offense.
Yeah,
if that makes sense to people.
But it's really cool because what we've got with those center backs is a lot of different styles. Like, I keep on thinking about that game last year against Duluth away when AJ got pissed, and it was like the last 15 minutes of the game, and I don't know what position AJ started playing, but he was running, sprinting.
AJ.
He was sprinting all over the field, and normally as a coach, you're like, no, what are you doing? But he was playing really positively all over the field. He was like hip checking guys. He was getting headers. He was winning balls. So
you do you, man.
yeah. So it's just like that guy that you want on your team, you don't want on someone else's team. So that And then you have Max, who's very cerebral, but he's extremely athletic. He can hit the long ball. He can play in between the lines. I just think that core working together is going to be awesome.
Moving on, let's talk about the guys on the outside of the defense, our fullbacks, and I'm going to say wingbacks because some of these guys can really get up the field. Of course, we've already mentioned Charlie Adams and Aaron Olson, who played against Minnesota United on Wednesday, along with Mark Haight, who we've introduced. We're also joined by Abdallah Ba once again. Nice to have him back. And Nick Hines is returning at the fullback slot. a lot of these guys have very similar games, right? Abdallah is definitely the most lockdown defender of any of them, and then AO does AO things. But the other guys are known for getting up there a little bit and overlapping quite a bit with their respective wingers. Is that something that, I mean, that's got to be something we're looking for out of the season?
Whether it's, you know, you're going to see a lot of, you know, and not tipping off anybody, but you're going to see our wing backs get involved into the attack. And it's good that, like, a lot of these guys are, they're able to play center mid, but they're fullbacks now, or they're wing backs.
Charlie especially.
Abdallah,
so played center mid.
I mean, even you watch Charlie play
season a couple times.
Exactly. But you watch Charlie play, somehow he naturally cuts in towards the middle of the field to find himself there. And I think he's comfortable there, right?
He did it yesterday. And just like, I don't know who it was. It might have been Mason Toy who was just getting lazy getting back. And Charlie did like no reason to do his Chazzle Dazzle step over. Just was like, fuck you, I'm doing my step over. And just like,
step, boop.
Yep, he just did it. And like, I think it was Mason Toy was just kind of like lazily tracking back and he wasn't even close to him, but he kind of like did it just to be like to do it around a guy.
But
hey, not a lot of people have been able to do the Chazzle Dazzle against Minnesota United.
Yeah, maybe the first.
I think the really nice thing about, you know, some people are like, wait a minute, you got 5 outside backs. The really nice thing is when you can carry 18, when you can sub 7, that's going to cause a lot of problems for people, because if you're able to play maybe a guy 45 minutes, 60 minutes, and then bring another fresh guy on that's able to get up and down the field in the fashion that we're going to want to, that's going to cause a lot of problems for teams. When it gets later into games, maybe teams aren't carrying a full 18 or they're just not able to keep up with that, we're going to get a lot of chances late in games.
Yeah, so hang on to that thought, because I think we're going to come back to that when we start talking about our loaded attacking options that we've got this year. But I want to talk about the center mids, because for a couple years this has been kind of the enigma for me, especially, is what combination do you find that works the best? You bring certain guys in and you think that they're going to succeed. They don't. You bring other guys in that are kind of traditionally role players and they can carry the whole game, and you just never know what's going to happen on any given week. That was probably a big part of our frustration last year. So our center mids, of course, we've got Steve, Ian Smith, coming back from Green Bay soon. Martin Brown Jr., who's been grinding all year long, competing against his brother in daily Instagram challenges. You've got Ben Wexler, again, another grinder. Shea Bottom, who is, of course, the 2017 MIAC Player of the Year. Tommy Katsianis, one of the hardest names on the team to say. And Max Stiegert returning for his second year with the Crows.
Can we just call him Tomcat?
Tomcat. That's great. Oh my God, that's good.
Like, how did you not? You write
I know.
for a living.
I'm just focusing on how fucking Greek it sounds.
It doesn't matter.
And then Max Stiegert returning for his second non-consecutive year with the Crows.
Who unfortunately got hurt in our last our friendly.
Only 2 weeks. Got the report from our awesome trader, David Bloomquist.
From TCO.
He is
Thank
awesome.
you,
Plug.
Twin Cities Orthopedics.
He is awesome.
He's the best. He. I mean, have you seen what Hoof's face looks like? Like, he may not have to see a plastic surgeon. I mean, I'm just saying that off the top of my.
Are you talking about in general or because he received an injury?
Remember, Hoof blasted his face open.
That was a Hoof is ugly joke.
And his nose was needing a little work. I mean, tucking that chin a little bit.
Right.
No, but I mean, David's awesome.
So specifically, you've got a lot of guys that are great with the ball at their feet.
Yep.
Martin, insane, right? Ben Wexler can do amazing things in little spaces. Personally, I haven't seen Shea play, but you know that he's going to be one of the better players on the field almost anytime he gets out there.
You saw him play in college.
Yeah, that one game against McAllister, that was 0-0 until I had to leave. That was it. I think, you almost got an embarrassment of riches, but at the same time, wrong decision could really damage the team.
For me, the biggest thing, and it's something that the front office and I talked a lot about in the off season. The way that we built stuff last year was really based on a body of knowledge we had from the PLA, right? And a certain style of play. And so the way that we built things this year was, let's take what worked from there, and then let's build off of that. And the word I keep on using is pragmatic. Okay, so last year, I think the way I came into it was kind of idealistic. Like, this is the way we're going to play. It's, pressing. We're going to, play a lot on the ground. It's going to be a lot of possession stuff. And it worked. We had more possession. We had more shots on net than any other team in the league. But it didn't always end up in a win. Mm-hmm. So, especially in the center of the field, when you pick up guys like Max, when you pick up guys like Shea and Tommy, some guys that are really good on the ball, but they're also great tacklers. I think that's going to really help us. Mm-hmm. And so you mix that with some of these guys like a Wex, like a Martin, that are just great on the ball and will dance around guys and create opportunities. I'm really excited for what's going to happen. This year.
And you look at the names in that list. We brought back a lot of familiar names, mm-hmm. but you look at Tommy. Tommy replaces a guy like Samo, who, like, part of me hates the PDL because go fuck yourself, PDL, because you don't offer anything really different besides housing for players that we don't. Mm-hmm. So, Samo,
less and less an improved player profile is really what you're getting at. Like,
right.
Your name isn't going to get out there any better anymore.
Right, it's not, and we've proven that we can do that. But if Samo's coach wanted him to play in the PDL, I'm 100% happy with that. Mm-hmm. But I just hate the fact that we lose a guy like him. But we pick up a guy like Tommy, who's very similar. He's the I want to go forward and play the killer pass guy.
Yep.
But we have the technical guys in Martin and Ben. We have the box to box guy like Shea who can either be the tackler, can be the ball winner, can be the aerial guy, can be the passer, can be the scorer, whatever you want. He's more of the the all around central midfielder. And you have Steve, who's a traditional 6, Max, who will go box to box as well, and then you have Tommy, who will go more of the traditional 10 role.
Right.
Not saying that a guy like Shea or a guy like Wex or a guy like Martin can't play a 10, but we have those options, which is great because, like Adam was saying, depending upon the opponent and like what they match up with, we have the counter.
Right. And we didn't always have that last year because I think we had a very similar brand of player, and that was very intentional on our part.
Yeah.
We wanted to play a certain way, and we built our roster to do that. The last thing I want to say about that is that you're going to see a couple different guys at the 10 that we haven't mentioned.
Yeah.
And guys that we'll talk about later, but I would anticipate maybe Goose and Juan Luis. You might find them at the 10 every now and then because they're just so dangerous.
It's coming next. Dang it.
Yeah. Moving on.
So yeah.
Let's talk about the attacking options that this team has. Talking about a little bit of an embarrassment of riches within the midfield as far as guys that can really play an awesome role for us every week. You move on to our guys that are going to be attacking, and it gets even better, right? You've got Will Kidd, proven amazing attacker.
Almost 3 years in a row was our gold boot winner.
Yep.
Just grinding out those goals.
and that's amazing. It's because he plays 90 minutes as hard as possible, right? And you're going to find those goals when you do that. You've got Juan Luis, who everyone's excited to see. You've got Brandon McGarity, 2015
there you go.
MIAC Player of the Year. Whitney Brown, who has proven his ability with us for 2 years now. The mysterious Siku. You've got Tim Wills, who always is in the right place at the right time with the right kind of goal. You've got Goose coming back, and Nick Hutton, who is just a burner. Like, it feels like we're built for speed, but we're also built for endurance. To your point earlier, what's going to happen when it's the 80th minute and they're on tired legs and Nick Hutton comes in?
He's going to punch someone in the face.
Yeah.
What he's going to do. Not literally.
Not literally.
Well,
maybe with his speed.
He's
good with his skills.
Figuratively, we talk about it often, right? Where it was like, what happens when you get punched in the face? Do you punch back? Mm-hmm. And a lot of times last year, sometimes our guys didn't punch back.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But we talk about throwing a guy like Nick Hutton into the mix when it's the 60, 70, 80th minute. He's coming out swinging. Mm-hmm. And they have to kind of counter. Instead of us trying to figure out how to sort something out, we have an option. We have an exotic car garage, if you will, of attacking options.
Yeah. Well, I can remember sometime on this podcast last year, and maybe it was when we had started bringing on Brandon by, but we had talked about how, like, man, you guys got a great. Maybe it was even the season preview last year, like. Great roster, but who's going to be the striker? Who's going to be the 9?
I think that was the question for a number of weeks last season. Yeah.
Okay, well, and this is a tribute to Johnny Biz here, our sporting director, who went out and got strikers. Bringing in Brandon McGarity, people are going to love to see him, right? Because, and I don't want to mention his name, but he reminds me of a certain striker from Duluth.
Yep, we've talked about that.
We talked about it on the show. Yep.
Yeah, him who can not be named.
Voldemort.
But, yeah.
You're talking about Voldemort?
Oh, yeah,
Voldemort.
Oh, we can say it now.
The kid from the Burbs.
Yeah.
Are you dropping? Are you dropping some breaking news that Duluth signed Voldemort? It would fit.
Tim would never do that. Tim would never do that.
It would fit.
Yeah, it would because they're all evil.
Same room.
Yeah.
We can make Voldemort jokes virtually.
Not like this.
But I'm telling you, Brandon McGarity is a fun guy to watch play. He can find the back of the net. He can do it all. But, Tim is Tim, and you know what you're going to get from Tim, but he also will surprise you every time he steps on the field. Because you think Tim's not athletic.
And then he beats you on a header.
But then he beats you on stuff.
Yeah, he beats you on stuff.
But I'll tell you, throughout the whole entire preseason, I'm talking from January till now, because we've pretty much been training that entire time.
One way or there, yeah.
Yeah. Hutton's been the most impressive player. And because...
He's a husband now. He's going to be a father.
Yeah.
He's trying to impress his future kid.
He is trying to do it all. He's not just a runner. He's not just a burner. He's got a bag of tricks. He can strike a ball really well. He's just a gamer.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is about him, but he's really impressed me this preseason.
The only thing he's missing is a tooth.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. Yeah.
The weirdest thing is when you eat a meal with the guy and he just takes his tooth out so he can eat quick.
Does he have like a flipper, like a retainer?
He pulls a literal tooth out of his shit.
Oh.
Eats his
You
food.
Get your mouth dirty.
Yeah.
So you touched on it with Nick. Are there any other surprises or sleepers that the citizens need to look out for over this the first half of the season at least?
Ooh, that's a good question.
That is a good question.
I mean, I have some. If you want,
We'll start off, Johnny.
Well, I think the number one surprise is that Goose is back. Goose was intended to go to the PDL. Goose, it's no surprise. He's transferring from Indiana to DePaul, which the DePaul program has it's been flipped upside down. It's changed, and the group that's there in that conference, it's in the Big East. Like he's in a great spot, and he's going to be able to play more than he was in Indiana. Having him back without the expectation of the Indiana coaches that were, I guess, shackled onto him last year.
Well, I remember at the beginning of the last season, you could tell like Goose is not quite Goose. He's learned some things.
Yeah. He's
playing
he's
the
a Hoosier.
Indiana system and not what we want him to do.
Like his first year when
And learn some.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there's
Learn
positives and
something.
negatives there.
Right.
But like we
That's
were
a-
like just attack, dude.
Yeah.
As a good friend of mine said, it's a 200-pound bitch on your back.
I mean,
John liked that one.
I did. I don't know quite how to respond to it, but I liked it. That was my number one surprise.
Yep.
Really was like, oh my god, we Goose back. Also Shea.
Yeah.
It's a surprise that he stayed. But on the flip side, it's also not a surprise to me that he stayed. Like Adam had more contact with him than I did, but it was more of a if I'm not MLS, I'm going to start my life.
yep.
And we fit that need of soccer. And that's when I kind of stepped, like you were talking to him more during that trial period. And then once he made his decision, I kind of stepped in and said like, hey, I get it, man. Like I had to make a similar decision myself and I made it. And I'm so happy I did. And as long as soccer is somehow in your life, like I still play, I do all this shit that we're talking about right now. Like the most fun parts of my day is the shitty parts where we're like arguing about stupid club stuff. And I'm like,
Right.
you know what? I hate it in the moment, but then I go to bed and I'm like, God, what a great day. I got to argue about soccer stuff.
Yeah.
You know, like, so I told him, like, soccer will always be in your life. If you want to be a software engineer, be a fucking software engineer and play soccer on the side. And like, that's great. It's great. So that big surprise for me.
And ultimately, what we set out to do, right, is
Yeah.
like we're filling the gap for guys that, you know, now when you have Minnesota United, but now we've got all these other players, and they're extremely quality players. That, yeah, but soccer's a meat grinder in the U.S., especially,
It's
right?
a sausage making machine.
Yeah, I mean, because you know, I think what even if you talk to like professional players that played USL, MLS, you don't necessarily you're not getting rich necessarily, right?
Yeah.
Almost poverty level.
Right.
Yeah, you
But-
better hope you have a wife that has a
But
good job.
a lot of our
Or rich parents
guys.
could give you a Porsche
There you go.
and a sweet techno CD.
But a lot of our guys are living quality lives. You look at James; he's about to go out and be an eye doctor, and you know some of these different stuff that they're
Like AJ's a sales guy for 3M.
Yeah.
and,
they're doing awesome stuff.
Matt's a real
and they get to
estate
play
guy.
really high quality soccer. What else? What's better than that?
They get to come in on Monday morning and be like, "Who was at my game this weekend?"
Right.
Yeah, which one of you fuckers is my real friend?
Yeah.
So, any sleepers you want to make a prediction for? Anyone that we don't maybe isn't quite on our radar? We don't have high expectations of that.
I
You're
got
just
one.
saying
Wow.
they're
You can go
coming on
first.
strong.
You go first
Yeah,
this time.
I'm
One
gonna-
each.
One each.
Who?
You said you got one.
He might take mine,
Oh,
but
okay.
I know, like,
Okay. That's hard. Because I'd like to say the whole U23 team, because I anticipate
That doesn't
we're gonna
count.
have. I know, but we're gonna have quite a few U23 guys. I expect
there's
to be
gonna be
challenging
there's
for
gonna
those
be
minutes.
movement,
Popping
yeah.
in.
But I'm gonna say my sleeper for the year is gonna be Juan Luis.
Okay.
So you took mine. God damn it.
Yes. Yes.
But no, I'll just roll back through here. What defines a sleeper? May
Someone
I,
that-
may I ask a counter question?
Someone
to
that
you?
defines a sleeper is someone that might be off the radar, or someone that you feel will surprise us with some overachievements.
I think Big Game James.
Okay. Big
That's
Game
a good
James,
one. That's a good
your
one.
prediction to potentially challenge for the starting role.
Yeah, I think Big Game James is. Adam noted he's giving a shit this year, and when I talked to him, I was like, we're gonna lose James next year. He's going to Chicago for optometry school, so he's gone. And I said, do you want to give a shit for a year, or do you want to just continue to not give a shit? And he said, I want to give a shit for a year. He said a lot of shit.
And we like guys that give a shit.
I'm gonna give a shit for a year, and I said, all right, you're in, because if you're not, you're out.
Yeah.
And he's in, and
All
he's
right.
proved it. So
that's a good something for people to keep an eye on. Is this healthy competition, right, between
Absolutely.
in the goalkeeper's corner.
Competition is a good thing.
So in general, last year we got hit hard with long balls and quick counters that cost us, at least 3 to 4 of our losses. Yep. Where do you see that stopping this year?
We've like I said, I used the word pragmatic before. We have a slightly different formation. So I know what the league looks like now. I know what the style that people are going to play. And I wouldn't say that, at the end of the last season, I had one of our fans come up to us and he said, one thing I really appreciate about you as a coach is the way that the style that we're playing, and that we're playing possession, we're playing attacking soccer, we're doing these things. So I hope you're back next year. I hope you keep doing the same thing. Those things are not going to disappear, but we are going to be a little bit more pragmatic in our approach.
All right. So how do we answer the physicality of teams like Duluth? I think another thing that kind of got us on the back heel last year is that it was a little surprising that these British expats would show up in Minneapolis and try to push us around.
Punch them in the mouth.
Punch
it.
them in the mouth.
I mean, and not maybe that's literally, but hopefully not literally, but figuratively. Like you got to come out, and you got to assert yourself on the game, and most of it comes down to the type of defense you're being set up in. Many times last year, we're playing a very high press, that means that it's like a blanket that's a little bit too small for you. Okay, so in a high press, if you put it up over your head, then your feet are exposed.
Yep.
Your feet are the goal, right? So there's a lot of space in behind. So now, you just expect
All it takes is the fat one guy to
Exactly,
get the right pass as
exactly.
he's making the run, and that's it.
So we're just going to move the blanket down a little bit.
All right, moving the blanket down a little bit. I like that. That's someone make a shirt.
Yeah.
All right. So speaking of what's going on for this season kicks off on Saturday, John.
So, oh shit, it's time for some mother effing soccer, people. I mean, real soccer that counts.
Yeah.
Take it away, Nate.
Well, I mean, so we're playing. We're gonna go to Sioux Falls for the season opener, which is sad that we have the game is all the way over there. But we are going to play a team that we think we've got a pretty good shot at. The Thunder finished 3-7-4 last year.
2 wins against Lacrosse, and then
I think they beat Twin Stars because Twin Stars only went with 9. And
okay,
yep,
makes sense.
Yep, and they're in second to last place last year ahead of Eris. So they had some decent talent. There's this guy Michael Haight who broke against us and was pretty speedy. They had those 2 brothers whose mom was always angry in the stands.
They also had Jeff Beck.
They had Jeff, the guitar legend.
Guitar
Jeff
legend
Beck.
Jeff Beck.
I think he's off the roster this year.
Yeah.
But they managed to surprise us with an early goal here at home, which you know what, a lot of teams did. But we hung 3 on them twice.
That was the Brandon Bye game.
Yep.
And the Goose Banger game.
And the Goose Banger. So we hung 3 on them twice last season, both at home and away. Some writers kind of play off their struggles last year as typical of an expansion year team. But until they show me otherwise, I don't think the Thunder have it in them to compete with us quite yet. They should be an established team that lost against the Bug Eaters last week. Adam, with a lot of guys at school, who is going to be available to travel? First, let's answer that.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to bring, once again, I think we're bringing a strong MPSL side with us, and we're going to sprinkle in, actually, Lionel Vang with the U23 side to come out with us. But the biggest thing that I think the takeaway from here is that, I think it's nice that you say that, we're going to handle Sioux Falls, but that's not the mentality that we can go into the season with. We have to take everyone seriously. We don't know what Sioux Falls has done in the offseason. We don't know what they've done with their coaching staff, their player personnel, and I'm assuming that they're the best team in the league. So we're going to come out with that mentality, and we've got to come out strong. And if we don't, you never know what's going to happen.
Well, I know they've upgraded from a coaching staff perspective because there was like a weird they started out with one guy and then
he got let go.
And then recording artist, guitar legend Jeff Beck was involved as the player coach, and then when we went there, it was just kind of like it was just weird when we got there.
Yep.
But they've made a change. I do know a few folks in the soccer community there, and they've said it's the right change, but they don't really know the pool of talent. I know they wanted to bring some players in like Duluth and Med City do, but I don't know if they got it done in time. So we really don't know what we're going to be involved in. But I think they're trying to take the step forward to be a better organization than they were. It's not like a lacrosse situation where everyone looks at it as a doormat. I think Sioux Falls is more of you made some good quality decisions and some changes. Prove it now.
Yep.
So we'll have to see. So what are you looking for out of this week? What we talked about we're not gonna overlook them, but what are you looking for from our team in the first week?
The what I know about sports.
Sports.
What do you know about sports?
And specifically in this conference,
as a sports activity guy,
it's not just about the result, but it's about what the perception is from everyone else that you're going to play. So I'm looking to come out and make a statement, I guess. Mm-hmm. I only want to go out to go to Sioux Falls. I want to go out to Sioux Falls and I want to fucking pound them into the ground. Because it's important to send a signal after last season, it's important for us to come out and to come away with a big statement win.
Especially when two of the other teams in our division are playing in the U.S. Open Cup,
And
this
then
month.
the winner of that's is going to get their butt slammed by St. Louis.
By
is
St.
what's going to
Louis?
happen. Well, so I'll counter what you said in the fact that like we performed better on the road last year.
We did.
Mm-hmm. So I would say that like this is a definitely a statement, but it's the evolution of that is let's carry that right into the first, let's start the engine that's going to carry through into the first home game.
Yep.
And and it's interesting because you said like, oh, it's kind of unfortunate we're starting out on the road 4 hours away. There's no better way for me to start the season. Like, get some guys together. You go on a road trip.
Yeah.
You get closer that way.
Sleep in a shitty home.
Sioux Falls is a weird fucking place.
Yeah.
We talked about it all. I mean, you're right. It's a point we've made over and over again, not only through last season, but then through the U.S. Open Cup travels. Is like,
yep.
When you travel together as a team, you show up on the field and you've already been hanging out. You've already made friendships. You already know each other really well. When you show up straight from work on a Friday afternoon and you got to jump into warm-ups maybe a little late, it's harder to get up for the game, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
So you already said you want to stomp the shit out of some guys this week. Anything player-specific that you're going to be looking for out of this first week?
It's continuing our plan. We've put a plan in place really since January, and executing on that plan is going to be big. So, like I said, we've got a slightly different tactical plan than we did last year, and I'm going to look for guys to execute on that, and we've got the personnel to do it. So, as long as we're playing quality soccer, that's really all I care about. And of course, I want the result, but it's more about playing quality soccer. I can't remember. I don't think we played this early last year. I think this is a week earlier.
We are. We started a week earlier.
Yeah, because we got all our guys back like this week.
Right.
And not all of our guys. All our college guys.
This one feels a little bit earlier because it is. So I'm looking for the guys that are here and available and in town to play well. And then we start really blending that and training together with the guys that are coming back so that we really hit the season, we hit the ground running.
Yeah. So I think we already kind of talked about what starting off strong will look like to you. Let's look through like the first half of the season. What's a good start going to feel like or look like to Coach Adam Pribyl?
Well, let's juxtapose it with last year.
Mm-hmm.
Last year was we dropped points on counterattacking goals, or just or silly turnovers in our own half that led to quick goals,
or like weird shit.
Right, and weird shit.
Yeah.
So I think it's really about focusing on the basics, doing the little things right, coming together as a team, and that means all the right personalities gelling together. We've got a great front office that's put together great training spaces, the right training spaces, doing things the right way, getting all the right guys together. And if we do all these little things well, I fully expect that we're gonna get a much better start to the season we did last year. We're not playing catch up.
I love ketchup. Not that type of ketchup.
No.
I like cat soup. Okay, so we are at a point now where normally with our guests, we would say it's time for the world galactic famous Lupient Automotive Speed Round. But we're not going to do that this time. Nate and I thought about some things, and we're like,
you've already been there, man.
We've already been there.
Adam Pribyl.
Yep.
Yeah, you know.
Oh, what? I mean, what?
You know the first two questions.
You know the first two questions. You would have probably been the first person to figure that out.
I'm so excited for that.
What we're going to do is we're going to go with we're going to keep the speed theme going, and we're going to do a little game of word association. For those of you listening, we currently don't have a sponsor for this like we did with Lupient, and we do with Summit as the title sponsor. So if you own a company and would like to throw a couple ducats our way,
or cases of beer.
Actually, Old Granddad. If you're listening, Mr. Basil or Hayden. Anyways, if you want to sponsor the word association round, please contact us. You will find our information at the end of the podcast. But anyways, so much like the Lupien Automotive Speed Round, Adam, we will give you a series of things and 15 words. So it was 10, now it's 15 words or phrases. And we want you to say the first thing that comes to your mind.
Be a word association warrior.
Okay.
So we're not talking.
I gotta say this pretty quick, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. So it's literally the first thing.
Boom.
There's no
Okay.
ums and ands and uhs.
All right,
There's
yeah.
like, I say.
Say it.
We'll do a test run.
Okay.
I say orange.
Apple.
Okay. Good. Perfect. There we go.
Woo.
I liked it. Good.
All right.
Good. Okay. So, are you ready? Like the speed round? Do you want to? You need a little refreshment
Yep,
break
yep.
there.
Just
You're
gonna
good.
take-
You're good. Okay.
We're good.
Okay. Well, I gotta get ready then. Okay. Number 1.
Mm-hmm.
Crow.
Minneapolis.
Center referees.
Suck.
Boots.
Socks.
Soccer.
Awesome.
Possession.
Do it.
Twin Stars.
That's not one word. Say it again.
Twin Stars.
Suck it.
Major League Soccer.
Meh.
Hot dog.
Sandwich.
The Viking.
What? Oh, maybe it could be.
I love it. The Viking Bar.
Rest in peace.
Big Game James.
Oh.
Got him. Curveball.
Sounds
Love
don't
them.
count.
Love them.
Okay.
Supporter owned.
Minneapolis City.
Donkey.
Duluth.
Success.
Me.
Vanger.
Rest in peace.
And then the last one, the Citizens.
The best.
Oh,
okay.
good work.
I think we found a new.
That's
new
fun.
thing.
That's
I
fun
think
for
we-
second
yeah,
year
was
this
good.
season.
Yeah.
People have
That was
already
good.
done it, especially we're
Yeah.
gonna get
So
some
what I
repeat
was
players.
hoping. So now I'll recap. What I was hoping from soccer was it's a gift. I was hoping from hot dog. It's a sandwich. You got that one. The Viking Bar. I was hoping for weird.
Okay.
Very weird.
Yeah, very weird or very weird.
Underground rap rock.
I was thinking of Big Game James. Never stop
Maybe
stalking.
we should every week. I should do this. Like me and the guests should get together and do the word association with you.
I'm in
Yeah.
too.
Because
I'm
you
in too.
feel like
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
want to.
Yep,
You want to participate.
No, but I know I speak for Nate here. Donkey, we were thinking Duluth.
Mm-hmm.
Got that one.
Yep, and then that was kind of what we were.
Wanger, rest in peace.
Yeah. With Crow, I was thinking maybe he'd hit murder, but yeah.
Missed
So
a
no,
few.
it was good. It was center referee was thinking maybe red card. Yeah, so,
I actually love center refs. Don't
Good segment.
for all those refs
Good.
listening.
So I think we dug
Broke
the
new
golden
ground.
shovel in.
that was really good.
And
I
then
like that.
we're cutting the ribbon.
I like that.
And we're good.
There's not as much pressure there. You just say whatever you
Yeah,
think.
it's not like you can get something wrong. You don't feel
Yeah.
stupid.
Although sometimes I just wanted to grunt. You like
you
you just
said
want to make
meh.
noises.
That was about as grunty as you
Yeah.
got.
Yeah, Major League Soccer.
Man.
Hot dog. Just start making random noises.
So that is all for this week's show. Thank you again to
Absolutely.
Coach Pribs, the
Thank
Pribbler, for being with us. And as always, to our sponsor, Delicious Summer Brewing. Summit Brewing.
Yes.
Summer Brewing.
Well,
Summit.
Summer brewing.
Yeah, there's a new member to the Summit fleet this summer, and that is a delicious, refreshing, lazy sipper. This crisp. It's
Wow.
Also a Crips.
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
crisp set of suds that offers a hint of strawberry finish is ideal.
Bloods will drink
for a
it, too.
warm
Yeah, the Bloods will drink it,
summer
too.
day. Yeah. Which we hope to have come our way. The summer is here, friends. Head on downtown to the tap room, a bar, or pick up some at the liquor store today.
You are doing a bad
This is
job.
about as good as you did last week. The season starts on Saturday, and it is not too late to buy a membership for 2018. For only $65, you get a cool season pass to all city matches this summer, including...
Stop being angry.
I'm not angry, I'm excited. Including friendlies, NPSL, U23 games. You get that classy new membership scarf, and of course, a vote. So you can have a say in the direction of local soccer. Go over to MPLSCitySC.com and purchase 1 or 5 right now for all your family. If giving back to the community is an important part of your life, maybe it is time to give to the club that gives back. Minneapolis City is a 501c3 that provides safe, reliable, and fun environments for less fortunate young people to play this beautiful game. Look for us this summer playing with kids in parks and community centers all around the city, and consider a tax-deductible donation to a true city-focused organization. Please send us mail.
Please,
It's
outside of Bryn, like,
It
please.
is so easy. Hit us up on Twitter at The People's Pitch or through email at mcscpodcast@gmail.com.
Nice work.
Yep.
It's a tough
All
one.
questions, comments, and concerns are welcome, but mostly questions to answer on this show. And finally, as always, you can hit the club up at Minneapolis, MPLS City SC.
Now
That's
you
the
know
Twitter.
how hard it is.
It's super
Sometimes
hard.
it gets so hard.
That's all for this week. Thank you, Old Granddad. Thank you, Summit. We once again leave you with our house MC, the newest resident of Sweden, Miles Stockman Willis, a.k.a. Malays, with a track called The Come Up. I am Nate. That is John. Thank you, Adam. You are the people. Let's get a win this weekend.
Huff 'em.
Poster burning maple weeds, cradle major keys. Thinking back, I've been major since the minor league. So supreme, too much sauce off my olive NMDs. I could staple steez, bend the goat so I get the cheese. Never fall, rake them leaves and make sure every moment gets seized. And everything I see is make believe. Cuff a bad bitch, make her wipe out Maybelline. She wanna F with me, maybe get close data G. Run up data plans, getting A to B like AT&T. Hate me when she's coming, it's the perfect time for me to leave. Patience thin is crepe, so I'm craving her creatively. Make her breakfast in bed, then have sex instead. One life, live it up. 175 Grey Goose, treat it like a sippy cup. 105 on the dash, watch me giddy up. Only one on the bench, still press the city up. No stress from the press, it ain't news, I'm getting paper. Ask for the check, first time I see the waiter. Make my own luck, knocking over salt shakers. Every September 4th, should've put in more labor. Yes, flex, get out my lane, we ain't the same. Don't play Red Rover with the train. Lingo rolling off my tongue like a slogan spoken slang. Surely spitting like this token wrote and spoke it in some bangs. I could hang a vampire, highly inspired. Haven't reached this height before, I might get higher. Crew conspires round the campfire, rolling till our hands tired. Rap MacGyver saying sapphire, satire. With the swag, attire you admire. So well put together, no assembly required. Newly hired, still this heat so fire that it gets them fired. Fuck boys thinking that they fresh but expired. Everybody's flawed, that's just life's law. Wonder what life will be like when the ice thaw. I'll die any day, cause I'm down for the cause. Do it bigger than the Big Bang, like my name was Rush. Burning bridges with no gauze. Tell her open up her jaws and feed her nothing but bare claws. All about my dough, so she want a nut duck. Keep my ducks on the row, on the pond like what? Getting flocks at each show, giving out goosebumps. Playing with her heart, claim she playing spades. Whenever we apart, her brain ain't the same. Tickle her pussy as I tickle her ear hair. More boss than Ross, never been to a career fair. Blood, sweat, tears dripping off my upper lip. On some shit, krillin', chillin', gripping on destructo discs. Go left, go right in life, maybe eat a Twix. Rapping like a silly rabbit, tripping in the tricks. On the come up. Yeah, boy, this the come up. Whole squad about to motherfucking come up.